Hey guys, I hope you are all here. Let me know in the chat box if you're in early. I'm just going to pull my mic a little bit closer here and see how we go. So we should be live. We should be ready to go. All right. All right, so it looks like we have a live event here, guys. So I'm going to ask you to say hi. Welcome to our first hangout for our first presentation on for those who purchased Zapable. Do me a favor, drop in on the bottom right-hand corner. There's a box that says "Talk to us." Just register there so that we can come on board. Troy, I see you there. Hi, mate. Thanks for joining us straight away. There's also a link underneath this video that says join me on this call. If you've got a Google account and you actually want to talk to me live, I'd love to chat to you about Zapable and about what you wanted to do there. Thanks, Troy. Good to have that feedback as well. So, guys, lots of feedback from the questionnaire that I just sent out. You know, what do we want to cover on the webinar? So we'll be covering off all of that. It was quite a surprise for me. I can see Eric's in board. Thanks, Eric. Tony's in. Thank you. Debio. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thanks, and I got your feedback on the questionnaire as well. So, guys, I'm just going to pause my camera for a second. I'll put up a page here so that we can pause. Actually, I've got Elizabeth. This is a very informal presentation, so I'm just going to be talking anyway. So I might as well just stay on and say hi. Brett's in. Hi, Brett. Reg is in. Kenj is in. Hi, guys. Let me know if audio is okay. Let me know if you're getting everything coming through the right way. Great to see you guys. Drop in the chat box as well if you've got questions and things that you'd like specifically to cover off. Then drop them in the chat box so that we can make sure we cover a few things for you as well. We've got just a couple of minutes. We'll probably have a stack of people coming in last minute. Guys, I'm just going to pause my camera for a second. I'll put up a page here. Troy is in. Troy, I might just get you to mute as well, mate. Mute your speakers if you're going to be on live. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. So Troy's going to join us. Again, there's a link below this video. If you want to come on and join us live, there's only room for 10 people on a hangout. But if you'd like to be involved and come in and join us, that'd be cool. And we can have a bit of a chat as well. So we'll just wait for a few more people to come on. Looks like we've got a stack of people starting to rock on in there. Thanks, Tony. Glad the audio is coming through. Now, guys, something to know always when we're doing Hangouts, there's a 30-second delay between what I say and you hearing it. So I might say something like, I don't know, go here or do this particular action or whatever. You will hear that 30 seconds afterwards. And then if you drop me a reply, if you drop in the chat box, I'll see that instantly. So you can always drop me a message, anything in the chat box there. I'll see that instantly, but when I reply, it might take up to 30 seconds for it to come through. Larry's in, Pradeep's in, Jerry's in, Donna's in. Fantastic, guys. Awesome to see you all. Thanks for joining us here as well. This is our run-click software, and I offered all of you guys who had purchased Zapable this particular software for free. It's our webinar program and allows us to do webinars. We charge $197 for this program, but you guys get it as a free bonus. If you missed my email yesterday, you can drop in a support ticket, and that we'll be able to hook you up with a run-click license. So I really want you guys to have all the tools that you possibly can to succeed with your own Zapable business there. So let me just jump in here. I've got a presentation to walk through with you guys, and I want to make sure that we give you the best value that we possibly can. This, of course, is your presentation. This time belongs to you. So I'm just going to put that screen up for now while we're just waiting for a few last people to come on in there. Jerry, is the sales video for church and nonprofit? Yes, I'll have that done today. Hi, Diane. Great to see you as well. I'll just drop a reply to Jerry. Here you go. All right. So, guys, we're just waiting a few more people. I want to see everybody coming in there, and we'll let a few more people join us. If you want to grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, glass of water, whatever it is, we'll probably go for about an hour or maybe 90 minutes and work it through. And as I mentioned, this time is yours, guys. So I really want to provide as much value as I possibly can for you with your purchase of Zapable. I'm going to be continuing to develop the templates and the sales videos. So if you've got different industries, I already had somebody say real estate. If you've got different things, I really want to make sure that we keep providing value for you, because this purchase is an ongoing one. If you've picked up the monthly or the yearly, there's a cost involved. And this is something for me. I'm building my own app business as well. So this is something that I'll be continually developing, and I want to make sure that you guys get the value. As I mentioned, free bonus yesterday, we're giving away our RunClick software, which you're using now to watch this webinar. So make sure you grab that as well. Anything that we can throw your way, obviously we will. So that's all good. Again, there's a link beneath this video that says join us on this call. If you've got a Google account, Gmail or YouTube or anything like that, you can jump in and actually we can talk live. There's only room for 9 presenters. I think we've got Troy in already, and Troy's muted there, which is great. Thanks, Troy. We'll jump in and have a bit of a discussion with Troy. Lewis is in, Wyatt's in, AJ's in, Anthony's in. Great, guys. Good to see you. So we will kick off fairly soon and make the most use of our time. I think we're about 5 minutes past the hour. So let me just switch back to camera, and I can talk to you guys. All right, so being 5 past the hour, let me kick off. This is, of course, recorded. As all Hangouts are, they're instantly recorded on YouTube. So we'll be able to have a replay. Stick around if you can. I want to make sure that I cover off as much as I can for you. As I mentioned, this is your time. If there's questions, the things that you want to know, strategies, if I don't know the answer, and guys, there's a very good chance that I won't know the answer, but I'll find out for you and we'll come back to it. I also want to make a commitment as well. If there are enough questions or, things that we need to cover off on an ongoing basis, I'm more than happy to do more events. We can get together and talk different things through if need be. So more than happy for that. And my commitment to you guys, because of your trust, and thank you for that, for picking up Zapable through my link. My commitment to you is to do whatever it takes to help you, to get you successful, to get you up and moving through. So to that end, as I mentioned, this is an informal discussion. I've got a few bits and pieces to cover. I sent off, when we announced the extra bonus of RunClick yesterday, I also asked you guys for some feedback on things that you'd like us to cover. And I was surprised, actually. I was surprised. I had a technical presentation prepared, things like, how to add the apps into the templates and that kind of stuff. And we'll certainly be going through that. But the majority of the feedback was how to present to clients, how to get in front of them, how to get their trust, how to present the apps themselves to those clients. So if that's the kind of thing that's interested for you as well, we'll be making sure we spend a lot of time on that. Again, drop anything in the chat box that you wanted to ask me. Join me on the call if you want to by clicking on the link below this video, and we can have a live conversation as well. So just some feedback from Pradeep, how to get sales for the mobile apps and how to create trust for the business owners. From Ken, how to sell the apps to local businesses and charities. From Stephen, Stephen's actually taken some big steps forward with an example site, and I'll show you guys that later on in the morning. Sorry, it's morning for me, 10 o'clock here in Australia. From Brian, the way to be able to show a client an example of their app without showing Zapable. Yeah, that's a big one. I'm going to be talking about using video to do that. And specifically, you can use Hangouts to do it live, or you can video cast, but again, we'll cover that off. From Robert, best practices regarding pricing for the apps. Stephen's in. Hi, mate. Stephen, can I just ask you to mute just for a second, and we'll turn all the mutes off in a sec.
Good
to see you, man. Good to see you. So from Dan, changing the app ID. Dan had a lot of technical questions regarding getting the certificates from Apple and that kind of stuff, so I'll be covering off that. From Carl, how to get started with the business, how to show the customer that the app that was built for them. From Mike, do I have to be registered as a developer with Google and Apple? Again, I'm going to be talking about that. From Michelle, please cover the contract agreements. How can we get those sorted out? From Patricia, what to say to potential customers. From Debio, again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Affiliate marketing and CPA from Eric. How do you get apps on your phone to show customers without publishing to Google? Again, that's another question, another of the same question. From Diane on the sales side, how would you present the need for apps to potential customers, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's the majority of the feedback that I got when I sent out that questionnaire was not technical. It wasn't how do I add specific functionality to an app, although we'll cover that. The majority of it for me, as it seemed that it was coming back, was how do I position myself? How do I get in front of a client? How do I present to them the opportunity? How do I get them to buy? And thankfully, I've had 7 or 8 years in corporate sales experience, and I can share that kind of stuff with you guys. I'll be more than happy to do it. Troy and Steve, let's unmute, mate, and guys, we can have a bit of a call, have a bit of a talk, and find out what you're looking to get out of the webinar as well, and we can talk through some different things as well. So unmute and let's have a chat. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
How you going? All right.
That's the way.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, man. I can. Another Australian accent.
Just down the road from you.
Is that right?
Down in Druin.
Oh, very nice. Amazing. It's incredible. We've got a worldwide opportunity, and get on the call, and we're talking to neighbours. It's amazing.
There we are. It's bloody cold today, isn't it?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Hey, Steve. So, what, if I can ask you, mate, what was it about Zapable that you grabbed onto? What was your reason for picking up this program?
Well, I've affiliate marketed for years, and I've got my own websites and that sort of stuff, and actually used quite a few of your products. But I wanted something that was new. I did mobile websites about a year ago, actually 2 years ago, but they sort of went a bit, I don't know, off a little bit. So, and I thought apps are the things to go, and I sell a bit of PLR stuff, but I thought, well, I looked at the product and thought, this looks really quite good. And those niches that you provided, like I always talk to the wife about the products that I want to promote. She'll tell me it's crap, or she'll tell me it's good. And she sort of said, well, promoting to schools, church groups, sporting groups is actually quite a good niche to get into, because there's not many people doing it. And it's so easy, so that's sort of why I got into it. Perfect, mate.
That's awesome. The reason I chose those niches is because personal experience, for one, and also it's such a different kind of thing. I mean, restaurants, there's lots of apps, there's lots of restaurants that have apps out there, but again, there's lots of restaurants that don't. And you know, we're talking about the local restaurant, the pizza joint, the sushi bar, you know, the quick and easy restaurant. We're not talking about the kind of fine dining style, although there's no reason why not. But places like church groups, places like schools and education facilities, sporting clubs, this kind of stuff, if you can show them the push notifications, and I'm going to be talking about how to demonstrate that, if you can show just that, you can get a check easily. And again, I'm talking from experience. Before Zapable came along, and before our software company kicked into gear, we had an offline business, and we used to provide services of SEO, we used to provide website design, we used to provide video marketing. There was lots of different services that we provided, but one of the ones was apps, and I used to get them outsourced at a cost of a couple of $1,000s each, but I've had clients pay me up to $5,000.
Like, I'd like to say, like a year ago, I tried to build mobile websites for restaurants, and they were quite hard to build, where this makes it so easy, because I do have one question about it. They mentioned you can put the menus into it, and if you're not part of that group that they say, what do you do?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I'll cover that off first, actually. Why not? And we'll kick into some other things. Guys, again, if you're watching this, and you'll hear this in 30 seconds from now, if you're watching this, there's a link below this video that says join us. If you've got a Google account, you can come on live. There's 10 spots available, and if we have more people wanting to get on, then we'll kick some of the early guys off. So Steve and Tony, you guys, or Steve and Troy, you guys will get kicked off. But if you want to join us, if you want to come in and join us, click on the join us link. You'll have to have a Google account, but you can come and join the conversation live. Mate, you're right. So one of the things is mobile websites specifically for me. I found that it'd be a hard sell, but the apps are easy, especially when you talk about the push notifications. And restaurants, the question there is about the menu. Within Zapable, there's the ability to link to specific services, and those services are online menu portals. And basically, they're all in the US, they're all paid services. But there's also a button in there that says Other, and I've tried this, I've done it. There are services here in Australia that do the same sort of thing, and I'll see if I can dig out. I might send them to you privately after the call, Steve. There are services here in Australia that do the same thing, where restaurants can literally put up a page of their menu, and all you need to do in that restaurant menu functionality is link to the page of the menu on that site. So, for example, let's say the site is called menusonline.com. It's not, guys. So, but let's just say, for example, that there's a site called menusonline.com or .com.au. A restaurant owner goes there, they submit their menu, and they will have a specific page on that site. So it might be something like menusonline.com/Joe's Restaurant, or whatever the menu title would be. All you need to do to link the menu into the app is copy that URL. So that functionality is and the fact that they're limited to the services, and table bookings are the same thing. They're limited to specific services, but all you need is a website link. So all you need to do is grab one of the other services that are out there, copy the link, put it into the app, and job's done. So I've had a look at that with the Australian menu side of things as well. So that's really cool, mate. To understand that mobile websites, a lot of people kind of, yeah, I can see why it's important. And these days, more and more, I guess people are going to be seeing their website look crappy on a mobile. So the selling of that might be getting easier. But the big thing that apps allow restaurants, churches, schools, sporting clubs, any of the local businesses, real estate agents that we're talking about, accountants, anything at all, the big thing that these apps allow these local businesses to do is communicate with push notifications and live updates. So we already know that that mobile is the web, basically. You guys would... there's probably people watching this presentation on an iPad, and AJ said he's watching on something that's not allowing his Flash player to show, so I don't know what device that is, but if you're watching this, there's a good chance you're watching on an iPad or a mobile device, or there's a great chance that you've used that mobile device sometime in the last, I'm going to say, hour. You would have checked something on an app, you would have looked up something on your phone. Mobile devices are the way that it's going, and if we can provide this service, there's a big opportunity here. So, okay, Steve, you can keep your mic on, ask me any questions if you want to, and again, Troy, same for you, mate. If you want to unmute, you can ask me anything you want to. Guys, drop questions in if you want to, and we are good to go. I'm going to flick over to a presentation, guys, because I want to cover a few things specifically, and again, I'll come back to questions as we're going. So what I've written in there is your Zapable purchase, making sure that it continues to pay you for a long time to come. All right, and that's my point here with these webinars, and again, access to me. You guys have got enough emails from me. I'm sure everybody gets too many emails from me, but you've got enough emails from me that you can always reply, and you can ask me any questions. You're not limited by time as far as, no, I'm not going to talk to you because it's been more than 90 days since you paid for Zapable. If you want to ask me something, ask me. If we want to do a training session, let me know, and we'll put something together for you. So on these, some of the topics that I want to cover off today is a business, and then I put a comma, a real business, and this comes down a lot to mindset. I'm going to be talking a lot about that this morning. The resources that are available to you, how to approach clients, how to make sales, how to present the apps and not give away the secret, basics within the system, and with no clients, what can you do? The next one there is what happens if I can't build it, and more. On the next webinar next week, I had scheduled to really talk about scaling this business, and I'll talk about that briefly as well. So let's talk about, for a start, a business and a real business. And what I've put there is the most important steps to take, and in little writing there, but what if they don't buy it? And I just want to come off the presentation for a second. I want to come back to camera, because for me, this mindset is one of the biggest things that you guys need to get your heads around in order to be able to present this to businesses. I was doing a talk in, where was I? San Diego, with the JV Zoo group a little while ago, and I had a long-time subscriber, a guy named Jeff, who runs a very successful sports radio program. He had put together this product. It was all about voice training and all about podcasting and that kind of stuff. Now, there's a guy that has intensive skill, 500,000 listeners on his podcast. You know, doing a radio show live for 10 years or something. Intensive skill. He put together this product on training on voices and on podcasts. Now, there's a guy with serious skill set and the right to put that product up. But Jeff came up to me during one of the breaks, and he said to me, so I've created this product, and you know, I've got it already. And then he said, but what if nobody wants to buy it? I said, well, okay, that's a fair enough question. Can somebody buy it now if they really want to, Jeff? And he said to me, no, I haven't put it up on the website because what if nobody wants to buy it? And I looked him dead set in the eye, and actually mentioned it from stage as well. I looked him dead set in the eye, and I said to him, Jeff, if you don't give somebody the chance to buy it, how are you ever going to know? All right? And that's what I kind of want to talk to you guys about, because I had a couple of these responses coming back through from the survey where people said, yeah, but what if nobody wants to buy my app? And I'm going to straight up say to you, if you don't ask them, you won't know. Absolutely, categorically. So there's a huge mindset thing here about being a business and a real business. Remember, a few minutes ago I was talking about we used to run an offline consultancy. We used to have offline clients. Used to pay us a lot of money. And so we used to send out invitations and emails to people, trying to contact them, looking for more business all the time. And I had one guy who ran a printing company. He had 3 employees, and you know, I just sent out the standard email. Hi, you know, this is what we do, and this is who we are. And he responded with so much venom, and the venom was like, this is coming from a guy who's sitting in his mum's basement watching porn in his pajamas. And I was like, okay. We'd just done $250,000 in turnover, and you know, we've got 40 staff. I didn't have that time. We had probably about 10 staff, and you know, kind of like, I don't want to be rude on this call, but I was kind of like, come on, man, you know, I'm doing this for real. But do you know what? No matter what you do, other people will have an opinion of you. All right, and so the most important opinion that you can have is of yourself, and this is not something that I can cover off with a slideshow. This is something that I have to try and give you from the heart. And the only way I can do that is as an example. For example, my brother, who's a police officer over in Western Australia, won't install Skype because he thinks it's a scam. Right? I just want to let that sink in for a second. Okay. So I mean, I live, what is it, 8,000 kilometers away from my brother. I want to talk to him, right? So I keep on to him, buddy, get Skype, get Skype. He won't install Skype because he thinks it's a scam. Okay, you know, there's people in my circle of influence, parents of the kids that drop their kids at my school and that kind of stuff, that don't have Facebook. And as stunning as that is, I just can't understand it. But no matter what you do, there are people that are going to have opinions about you. So there's going to be a phrase that I talk about in this presentation a lot. It was something that I picked up from a guy named Omar Martin, who's a multimillionaire online and fantastic trainer. And his phrase was this: some will, some won't, so what, next. Some will, some won't, so what, next. Some will, some won't, so what, next. And as I said, I had 7 or 8 years of corporate sales experience, and I wish somebody had delivered it to me in that way back then, because it would have made my sales approaches a lot easier. Some will, you know, some will. Some pizza places, some schools, some sporting clubs, some real estate agents, some will. But guess what? Some won't. And some will accuse you of sitting in your mum's basement watching porn in your pajamas. Some will. Some won't. The real question is, so what next? Because I was talking to a colleague of mine when I was running this offline business, and I was talking to him about a specific strategy that a lot of people were putting into place in terms of SEO, and he was the guy behind this strategy. And I said to him, Dave, I'm worried about saturation. I'm worried that so many people are going to be doing this that you know, we're not going to have any room left in the marketplace. And he just flat out laughed. And he said, and I invite you guys to think about this in the same way. Go out to the freeway, the highway, the local, the closest, busiest street, right? Stand there for 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, enough people will pass you by that you could have more business than you could ever possibly need or want in 10 minutes' time. And if every single person on this call, if every single one of the thousands of people that bought Zapable are going out right now with a presentation to a pizza place, I guarantee you that possibly one in the whole world pizza place will have seen a presentation by somebody else about an app from Zapable. In the whole world, one pizza place in one country, and I'm only putting that out there as a small percentage because it's so unlikely that it'll happen. There's more than enough business for you to have more than enough business. And the reality is some will, some won't. So what next? So you've got to be able to position yourself that this is something that you do. So the first slide there was a business, a real business. And let's just pause on that just for a second. And again, I am spending a bit of time on this particular call about mindset. We're going to get into some technical stuff in a minute. But please understand that, and somebody can correct my numbers here, please understand that Apple, in their App Store sales, just in apps, did $1 billion in December. Okay, now I believe that number's right. If somebody knows that number to be different, please drop it in the chat. Let me know. So $1 billion, that's $1,000 million in app sales in 1 month. Okay, you tell me that this is a real business. What we have here with Zapable is an incredible opportunity to provide the hottest business tool available in the market right now. Okay, and every business that you speak to is going to want something different. But this idea of templates and the way that I've structured this presentation, by the way, on the templates, when I started talking to you guys about Zapable, it was back on the 30th of March or whatever, the first day that it opened. I'd been in Zapable for 2.5 weeks, building a few things, playing around, making sure I knew how it all worked. And I built these templates, and there was an export function where I could literally click a button, export them, and give you guys those apps that you could then import. The day that Zapable opened, they took out the export function because there was a bug in it, and it was causing all kinds of grief, which sucked for me because I put these 5 apps together for you guys. But at last minute, I said, well, you know what? It's actually better to teach you how to fish. So I redid the training to show you how to build those templates. And on the other side of that, the Zapable guys, Chris and Andrew, have said that the export should be back in this week, so I will be able to send them across to you. But more important that you learn how to fish. So I redid those 5 videos so that you could build the templates. And you can see that each template takes probably 5 minutes to build. It's such a simple set of tools. And what I was saying was each business is going to want something different, but you have the opportunity to take that business. I'm going to be talking about that. If somebody says to you, I want to be able to drop this particular functionality in, okay? And your first reaction is going to be, we can't do that in Zapable. No. I want to talk about how to handle that. I'm going to do that a little bit later on. But for the most part, and I'm going to say the majority, the 80-20 rule kicks in. For the most part, if you can go to a school and show them the links to their website, a form where they can get sent absenteeism from their students. If you can show them the push notifications and galleries of photos, the things that are in the template, if you can show those to the school, and again, on an 80-20 rule, you will find that you have a lot of people with more than enough willingness to pay you the money. And again, talking from experience, going to my local school, they have an app. It is simply their website on an app. It's very, very basic. Like you said, Steve. It's a mobile site, but it's an app, not a link through a browser. They've got the About Us. They've got our faculty, our history, our students. They've got that kind of stuff. They don't have push notifications. All right. So talking to the principal as I dropped off the kids last week, and I showed them the sales video that I did for you guys on the education. And the last part where on the sales video I say, and of course push notifications allowing you to send instant messages to all staff or students or whatever. She's flat out said to me, could I send that in an emergency? And my sales hat just rung off the hook, and I said, there's my close, right? There's my close on a school level. There's this close, right? In an emergency, I can send a push notification to students, parents, and staff with one click of a button. Hello? That's amazing for a school. Bang, straight up. The push notifications, you know, when you look at sporting clubs, the fundraisers, the sports results, the changes to the schedule for this weekend. Again, that's your close. So yes, there's going to be businesses that ask you for different stuff, and I'm going to cover how to handle that. But on the majority, if you stick with the templates, you'll have more than enough business to have more than enough business. All right. So guys, again, you'll start answering me in 30 seconds. Let me know in the chat box, have you had a look at the templates? Have you looked at the videos on the templates? And do you understand why I built those templates? It's Steve and Troy, if you want to jump in, you guys can let me know your thoughts on the templates as well. Have you had a bit of a play? Have you started to see why we've put them together that way? Do they make sense to you, Steve?
I started playing. Actually, I sent you my website yesterday to have a look at, which we'll have a look at later.
Is that yours up?
Mine, right. Yeah. And I just made some notes in about. Where's my notepad? I'll just bring it up again. Like you said about emergencies. Like I've got here emergency notifications, sports emergencies again, fairs, and those sort of things. And I was talking to the wife the other night about the school app, and she said it'd be great because with all the, how could we say, idiots around the schools at the moment, which we're all worried about, schools will jump at the security thing at the moment, because if you get someone in the school ground doing what they shouldn't be doing, they can immediately notify everybody that we've got someone in the school.
Exactly.
And that could be that's a good selling point as well.
Absolutely. This is Steve's website up on the page here. And you're exactly right, mate. So Steve's just stepped up here. He's dropped in a very simple template with a sales video, some buy buttons and some payment buttons and that kind of stuff, and exactly what we provided in the tutorials. And this is ready to go. So if you literally go with a laptop, an iPad, a phone, show a school your own page, and even just play them the sales video, you're going to be a long way forward. But mate, you're exactly right. The push notifications are what makes these apps so easy and such an easy sell. Emergency situations, you know, some idiots at the school, parents come and get your kids, whatever. There's an earthquake. In America, I know there's a shooter. There's a whatever. Send the push notification, and that's schools. I mean, talk about sporting clubs. It can be the same thing from an emergency point of view. These emotional triggers are amazingly huge sales tools for you as your app business grows. Now, I just want to come back to the presentation here, guys. What I'm talking about with this real business thing here is self-worth. Okay, and of all of the successful people that I speak to, of all the people getting started, of all the people that are worth millions or worth nothing, the same issue exists. I can't tell you how I know this knowledge because it's confidential, but I can tell you categorically that Steve Jobs didn't think he was good enough. Right? I can't tell you how I know that. Steve Jobs, before he got onto a presentation, used to call this person and say, "What if nobody wants to listen to me?" Steve Jobs, the master presenter, the master of Apple, struggled with self-worth. What if nobody wants to listen to what I've got to say? All right? So guys, you're not alone. If you're worrying, what if nobody wants to see this app or this business? You're not alone. And again, I have to come back to some will, some won't, so what next? I did this, guys, everybody that's on the call with me at the moment, I did this exercise in San Diego, and I just want you guys to go through this with me. It's going to take 3 minutes, so please do this. I hope you're quiet. There's no distractions around you. Just for a second, close your eyes and think about the thing that you are most proud of, other than your wife, kids, partners, family members, the birth of your children, you were involved with, but other than your children and your spouse partners, if you have them, the event, the activity, the thing that you've achieved, the bit of your life where you say, wow, I'm so proud that I did that. I want you guys to close your eyes and just remember that event, okay? Think back to how it felt to achieve that. Think back to what it was like and what you had to go through and the pride that you felt at that point in time. Have you guys got it? Have you got that, the thing that you're most proud of? Have you got it in your mind? I want to ask you a question, and it's not a trick question. That you're most proud of, who did that? Was that you? Or was it somebody else? The thing that you're most proud of, who was it that did that? That was you, right? That was you that did that. That wasn't anybody else. That was you. You did that. And I have to tell you categorically, and without question or doubt, that you are good enough. You are good enough. All right? I want you guys to have that embedded in your mind. You are good enough. Okay? Before I mentioned that we had the offline business, before I started working for myself, I was working for a company and we were involved at a corporate level, sales. I was in the sales role, as I mentioned. And as part of that, we had a whole team of people that were in the training role. So they would go out on site. Once I'd done the sale, they would go out to these clients and they would train them. So they would set everything up for them, and they would go through the training element. And that was a 2 or 3 months per client. And so as new people came on board, I watched this lady, her name was Maureen, she's amazing, still a good friend of mine. She came on board, first day on the job, right? She sits down and they had a training, how to be a trainer. So Maureen was day one going through that how to be a trainer. And so she's gone through the steps and she's gone through the bits and pieces. And after 5 days, after the first week, Maureen has completed the internal training to the point where she's now allowed to be off the chain. She's allowed to be let loose. She's about to go onto a client's site. And she turned to the CEO of the company and she said, I feel underprepared. I don't think I'm good enough to go out on site. I don't think I have enough knowledge. And the CEO of the company said to her, and I remember this clearly, he said, you are 1 week ahead of the first person you'll go and see. You are 1 week ahead of the first person you go and see. You have 1 week's worth that they don't have. And this is what I'm talking to you guys about with your apps, okay? So if you haven't created your first apps yet, I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second, but invite you to go and do that. Why? Because when you stand in front of a client, you can be all you need to be. All you need to be is 1 app ahead of the client, okay? All you need to have done is create it 1 time for you to have more knowledge about that than the client you're going to see. And the CEO of the company followed that up by saying, if you continue to stay 1 week ahead of the client, you will always have knowledge to share and impart. Okay? And again, I want to push that back to you guys and say, if you always stay ahead by learning, by doing, by activity, if you always stay ahead, you'll always have something of value to be able to provide. Okay? And I want to go back to that hand where it says you are good enough, because the reality is you are good enough. You have everything in you right now that enables you to go and stand in front of a client and confidently talk to them about an app. Okay? And if you don't feel like you can, use the sales tools. We're going to talk about that in a minute as well, but you have everything inside you right now. You do. You have everything you need to talk to them about an app. Why? Because you've got the backing of Zapable. And the guys have spent over $200,000 of their money to make this system available for you. All right? You have the confidence and the knowledge of people that have already created apps within Zapable and sold them. Okay? Troy, I think it was yourself that had a pizza app done in the first day. Incredible, all right? There's stories coming through of people that created apps and have made $10,000 and $20,000 already. The great thing is, even if you haven't done that, You have the confidence because you have the same system that they do. You are good enough. All right? All right. The next slide there. The most important thing to realize, and again, I know it's 37 minutes into this call, right? I should have been talking about the apps. I should have been building them. Hey, Troy, good to you're off your mute.
I am. I have a quick question for you. Actually, it's if you don't mind. When I first started getting into a lot of stuff, because you know that I've created an app.
Yeah.
And that, it's totally separate. And I just want to say how I came about creating that app. I mean, I've been doing stuff like this online for years. I've been doing affiliate marketing. Nothing really clicked. Nothing really worked for me. And then actually one day I was listening to an interview. Somebody was interviewing you personally, and what clicked in my head that you kept on saying was, just do it.
Yeah.
And that just clicked in my head. And I just like, okay, I have to do it. I have to. And I came up with an app idea. I outsourced it. I got it back in, and it's been doing pretty good.
So, mate, I know your story, and I know the reality of things that have come through there. But what's interesting for me is that you heard me say that just get it done, and you went and you did it. And mate, how much of an impact has that had on your life?
Oh, it's been huge. I mean, I'm sitting right here, and this Zapable. When you started first saying Zapable, I looked into it. I've been wanting to do apps for years, and I looked at it. And it's like I tried a couple of them, and it was difficult to do, and it was expensive. Then I saw this. It's like, this is a no-brainer. This is easy to do. So now I'm sitting here. I have an iPad, an iPhone, my Android device. I have a laptop. I have another computer sitting over on the side of me over here that has all my files on it. So I've been doing Android devices, and then like everybody, now I want to make sure that I can do the whole rounded part of it. So I went out and bought a Mac computer today. Somebody had it used down the road for $50. So I went down there, and so now I can do everything.
Yeah, I started. I've only got Windows. Like I've got my iPad and my iPhone, but I only had Windows machine. And so I went next door to my neighbor to upload the certificate. You don't need a Mac. I'm going to cover that a bit later on as well. You don't need a Mac. You can have access to a Mac. And also, one of the guys pointed out on the forum that there's a post there that the Zapable guys will upload your certificate for you. They don't want you to have that expense. Jump into the forums and have a look as well. But guys, I just want to pause here for a second. Troy is a hero of mine because Troy took action and decided to change his life. Right? So every single person that starts with a venture of some kind has all the other rubbish behind them at the same time. All right? And we all have that rubbish, and that rubbish can be in a whole bunch of different formats. It can be a job, it can be relationships, it can be illness, it can be situational, it can be all of that kind of stuff. Everybody has that, right? I'm using the word rubbish, and it's not meant to be in any way an insult to anybody. I'm calling it rubbish because it sits under the desk and it just clutters, right? But as I said, Troy's a hero of mine because despite of the bits and pieces and the situational examples that he found himself in, he decided enough's enough. He stepped up and took action and has made thousands and tens of thousands of dollars as a result, and more importantly, proved to himself that he can do it. And I just love your story, mate, because you are the pinnacle for me of somebody that said enough's enough, I'm going forward. See, do you know what's funny? I invented eBay, right? I invented eBay, okay? I sketched that puppy out. I had it done, right? You know, so it's going to be a forum place. It's going to be people bidding and user feedback and, uploading images and free to list and I had that puppy sketched out. I invented eBay, and I will tell people categorically, do you know how many fortunes I've made as a result of that? None. Zero. Because I sketched it out and did nothing with it. And then a year later or 8 months later or something, eBay came on the market and, one of the most valuable companies, and oh my God, it's amazing. And I sat there thinking, that could have been me. The reality is that everybody has their own eBay, right? Everybody has that idea. Everybody has that that thing, that one, you know, if only I could get my chance. But as I said, Troy, you're a hero of mine because you took that chance and said, let's move on with it. My learning experience from failing at eBay is that I'll never let that happen again. If there's something that needs to be done, get in and do it. What a lot of people don't know about me is I've got a black belt in Taekwondo. And as part of that, you have to spar, you have to fight. And I remember specifically the day that a light switch turned on for me when I was just about to get in the ring with a black belt, and I wasn't a black belt at the time. And I was terrified. I thought, this is going to be the end of me, right? And that fear was unfounded. And I got in there, and yeah, I copped a few hits. And what was interesting was we were training together. The black belt was part of my same. You know, we were training together. We were friends. We were partners. We were colleagues. So when he gave me a hit, it wasn't like he knocked me unconscious. It was like he gave me a hit to let me know, buddy, lift your game. We were friends. So what I realized was the fear of being hit was actually way, way worse than actually being hit, right? And I have to tell you guys that, for everybody that's listening on the call, the fear of approaching a client about an app, the fear is way, way, way worse than actually approaching a client about an app, okay? The fear of that encounter is unfounded and is not real. I have to tell you that. The fear of that encounter is unfounded and is not real. Okay? That fear is an emotion you are creating. That fear has nothing to do with the client. All right? The fear of being hit is much, much worse than being hit. So I have to invite you, metaphorically speaking, to go and get hit. Okay? Metaphorically speaking. Go and talk to clients. Now, this is why also we created these 5 templates, because a church, a sporting club, a restaurant, a salon, and a school, okay? Can anybody on this call think about any one of those 5 areas that they know? Do you know of a school close to you, near to you? Do you know of a salon that maybe you or your partner goes to? A hair salon, a nail salon, a beauty salon, a massage, whatever? Do you know of a restaurant, a pizza bar, or a Thai place, a noodle bar, or whatever? Do you know of one? Do you know of a sporting club? Are your kids involved with one? Do you drive past one every day? And a church or charity? Do you know of charities? Do you know of something on any one of those 5? And the answer I will guarantee you is yes, unless you are living in a cave somewhere, and in which case your internet's probably not great and you're not watching this presentation. All right? I guarantee you'll know one of those 5, and I'm inviting you to go and get hit. Metaphorically speaking, go to the sports club that you know, go to the salon that you know, go to the church or charity that you know and that you're familiar with. And here's the approach. Now we're going to start to get into the technical stuff. Here's the approach. You guys should develop the template to demonstrate to them. Okay? The master membership that you have with Zapable allows you 50 apps per month. Okay, so that's 600 per year. What I'll invite you to do is actually go through the full process of a development app in each one of the templates. Okay. Now, with a development app, you can install it on. As you go through the training, you'll see, and I'll point this out. I'll go through this. I'll show you where to find this stuff. You can install it on specific devices as a demonstration. Okay. Now, what devices should they be? They should be yours. Your iPad, your iPhone, your Android phone, your HTC Mobile. You can go and create a development app. It's not going to be listed publicly in the marketplace. It's going to have one single link for you to download and install, and that's going to be what you develop. And I'm asking you to go and metaphorically get in the ring with a school, a sporting club, a restaurant, a salon, or a church or charity. Go and get in the ring. Because the fear of doing that will be eliminated as soon as you step foot in there. I'm speaking to you from the heart. All right. The fear of doing that is a lot worse than the act of doing that. And when you do that for the first time, you'll realize how good it is. Let me talk to you about some technical stuff and some approaches and some bits and pieces that I want you to tweak further. I talked about the 1 week further. Do you remember where I said you're 1 week further on? And I think of it like a tour guide. If you know the way around your local area, you can show somebody. And it's the same. If you are familiar with how the app works, you can show somebody, and they can be impressed. It doesn't matter if you're a powerful presenter. You don't have to be. Some of the best salespeople I know are quiet and reserved, and all they need to do is say the right thing at the right time, and they say it softly. I'm different. I'm a loud rah-rah kind of guy, all right? And that turns a lot of people off sometimes. So for every person that responds to the loud rah-rah kind of salesperson, there's another one that responds just as well to the quiet and softly spoken one. I've put a point on that slide that says you don't need to have all the people in place. Okay? And I'm going to cover this in resources as well. You don't need to have all the people in place. And that includes yourself. Okay? And what do I mean by that? What if you don't have the knowledge to make this app happen? Even if the technical side of things is covered by Zapable, what if you don't know how to set up the menu app? Well, the great news is there's a training video on it, and the even better news is there's a forum where you can ask questions and get responses from people who are involved. All right? You don't need to have all the people in place. What if you're no good at graphics? I'm shocking at graphics. Okay? There are people that just have an eye for stuff. You know, they can create an image that you look at it and you go, oh my God, that's amazing. All right? Whereas me, I battle with stick figures. All right? But you don't need to have all the people in place and all the skills. There are sites like Fiverr that people will bend over backwards with specific skill sets that you can jump in and ask them to do tasks for you. You don't have to have all the people in place. Don't let that stop you from jumping in the ring. Okay? Go and speak to people around you and in your local neighborhood. They need you. All right. We've spent a lot of time on philosophy this morning. I hope that I'm getting through to you guys. I want to do one more thing, and this is an exercise I do with a lot of people. I hope you don't mind. Give me the extra 5 minutes of time, right? I said a phrase there. We need you, all right? They need you. And here's something real. I want you guys to do this. Thomas, yes, we're recording it. You'll hear that answer in a few minutes. You'll be able to get the recording in as soon as we're finished. Guys, I want you to do this exercise for me, all right? Create a circle with your fingers, okay? Create a circle, all right? And that circle is whole. That circle is complete, all right? If you then take even the tiniest wedge out of that circle, it is no longer whole. It is no longer complete, okay? And that's your community. That's your environment. That's your ability, your skill set, your family, your relationships. They are whole because of you, all right? And if you take even the smallest wedge out of that circle and community, family, relationships, ability, skills, if you take the smallest wedge out, it's no longer complete. It's no longer whole. So I'm telling you categorically that people need you to be complete, all right? They need your skills. They need your experiences. They need your ability to put Zapable in front of them. They need your input. They need your approach, because without you, it's not complete. It's not whole, all right? Again, I spend a lot of time on philosophy because I believe that it's your head that stops you before anything else. Now, the other part on that slide is systems to cover off. I'll talk about that a little bit more, but because this is a real business, there are systems in a real business, but there are only a few that you should be concerned with. And those are, I'll cover them point by point, but there are specifically 3 areas, and they're the only 3 you need to concentrate on. And I'll cover those off to make sure we get them done. Right, resources. Like I said, you don't have to have everything yourself. The obvious resources, the forum, hidden gems, right? I just mentioned a few moments ago, probably the biggest question I had in the first 48 hours of Zapable going live was, do I have to have a Mac, right? Do I have to spend $1,000? No, you can get a second-hand one, as Troy just said. But also in the forum is a hidden gem that actually talks about somebody who will do the uploading of the certificate for you, all right? The forum is an amazing resource. The Training Academy, Okay, I've put 2 links there, the app marketing and the SMB apps. All right, let me just change this screen and grab those pages. Right, there's Steve's site. I love the fact that you took action here, man. Right, app marketing and SMB apps. Let me open them. If you haven't gone through these, this is incredibly valuable. How to SEO your app. Now that's more for CPA and not for local businesses so much, but if you know how to put the right words into your app in the right way, you can get them ranked a lot easier and get more traffic to them. Marketing your mobile app using Facebook, how to drive people to app downloads using Facebook advertising, massively valuable. Picking a niche, how to promote, Zapable app launch system guide to promoting. This is just gold, okay, and it's a resource. Go and jump in. The SMB apps, this one. Swipe and deploy emails. There's only 1 email in here at the moment. Somebody asked me for additional ones. Yeah, I can start to put those together, but I think more importantly, look at the way that this is put together. The key benefits to point out when pitching a mobile app. If you haven't gone through this training and you've got fears and doubts about going and speaking to local businesses, jump in. It's been covered for you. Contracts. All right, there's some contracts, some sample contracts, and again, these are samples. You can modify them and change things and make sure that you're only committing to the things that you want to. It's all here. And setting up your app selling company, right? So resources. There are tons of resources, both obvious and not so obvious, that are part of this Zapable purchase that you've already made. So make sure you go through them. And the not so obvious ones. All right, outsourcing sites. I put there, look good, sell better. If you're shocking at graphics, you can get somebody to put together a really amazing app, splash screen, icon, whatever, for $5 on Fiverr. It'll look amazing and it'll help you sell more. Okay. Other not so obvious ones: chambers of commerce, groups and forums where you can discuss different bits and pieces. What I wanted to point out here is that you're not on your own. There's a stack of resources. Okay. Approaching clients. This is the one that the most people asked. So the one single skill that will earn you more than any other. And I've spent a lot of time on the philosophy here, guys, and I hope I've done so for good reason. You need to believe that you have something of value, okay? So I put here the methods: automated, manual, and semi-automated. I'm going to go through each one of those, and the concept of a funnel, how to build one, how to fill it, and that's the scariest part of all. I showed you Steve's web page. I'll put it up there again. I talked about this in a training video. I did a very, very bad job of this training video. Who's just joined us? Brett! Hello, mate. Great to see you. Thanks for coming on board. I'll get you to unmute in a second, mate, and we'll have a bit of a chat, and we can talk about where you're at and stuff as well. Where is my education app from Brett? From Steve. His website is here. Right. Putting up the example sites. Now, I gave you guys the sales videos and the very, very bad example of how to do this. I'll do a better example because I think this is an important point. I'll do a better example and I'll make sure I send you guys out on the email. But this is it. A web page that has an example of the app, the points about it, and a buy button. Brilliant. That's all that's needed. And you can just make this site look amazing and send traffic to it. Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, this was done with just plugins, like the video at the top, just the video plugin. Can you move it down, please, Walt? Just down the education app, just down a little bit.
Yep, sure. Hang on a sec.
Page down.
Yep. And
this here, don't look at that video. That one's been banned. But that's actually used for mobile websites. When you build mobile websites, you want to show people the mobile website in action. Well, that's actually a plugin that you can get. Now, if everyone wants these plugins, I think Walt, I somehow organised with Walt, and I can give them to you because I just
definitely.
Just put your videos in and you go from there. And I actually used what they call it, not templates, another plugin where I can put a box on one side and a box on the other, and just went in and put the HTML tables. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But these are just tables, one on one side, one on the other.
Perfect.
Same as down the bottom. It's all done with tables. So what I do is I create this page in tables. And if you see this request mock-up thing, if we click on that, it actually goes to a blank page. But what I'm going to be doing there is actually asking them what they actually want, and then I'll send the mock-up out to them, because this is another way to get them to talk to us.
Perfect.
if we send them a mock-up, and we send them a mock-up, this will actually be a video in here as well. I'm actually going to send them a video of the actual app to them, showing them it in action.
Perfect.
And that's what I'll be delivering to them.
Absolutely.
So
perfect.
yeah, and what I'm also going to be doing is putting a video on this page on the push notification, how it works and how they log in and do it themselves.
Absolutely, and that's such a brilliant way to go, man. And you know, guys, it doesn't. Say again.
I've got to get the banner done at the top. I haven't designed that yet. But back to graphics, I get a guy who'll build this banner at the top for me for $25 US.
Exactly. Absolutely, man.
So,
and that's the thing is you don't need all of the skill sets yourself, mate. That page itself, that is a fantastic example of putting the components into place. Now, so it's not the most amazing looking page. It doesn't have to be. All right. All it has to be is a beginning, a starting point. All right. Because you can use that page and start to send some schools to that page and start to get some replies. Okay, the better, you know, the more you fine-tune the page, the more replies you'll get, the more conversions you'll get. I have no doubt about that. But of all of the things that I've learned working for myself and in the sales role, of all of the things that I've learned, this is the most important, is that if you do something, it's better than nothing. All right, having a page that looks like that is a fantastic beginning. But what happens with most people, and you guys will relate to this, what happens with most people is they go, I'm too scared. And so they do nothing. And guess what happens? Nothing. And that's why I'm telling you guys, the invitation to go and jump in the ring, metaphorically speaking, go and get this stuff done. Go and put up a web page. Go and put up a YouTube video with a click here to contact us. Put your phone number on it, whatever you want to do, but get something done, because something, what do they say? Imperfect action beats perfect inaction. You just gotta get it through. Brett's got an example page of a salon app. Can I copy that, Brett? Can I copy that URL?
Absolutely.
All right, man. So let's copy this and go and see what Brett's going to show us.
And hopefully it pops up correctly.
Let's see. We'll see in just a second. So here we go. I love that request a mock-up, by the way, Steve. That's really cool. Where are we? Jack's Media?
Mm-hmm.
I put that in wrong. Here we go. Apps for massage. Oh! Whoa! Look at this!
I haven't put the buy button on yet, but...
How fantastic's that? That's terrific, mate. That is absolutely... And do you know what? There's a few components here, like the background image speaks to the people that will be landing on this page, right? Apps for massage therapists and salon owners. Just the headline says exactly what it's all about. The example video, the easy to see bullet points, and it's done. This is a fantastic example. All right. And Brett, how long did it take you to do, man?
Not just today.
Just today?
Yeah.
Really cool. Really cool. See, that's and again, guys, Steve's example and Brett's example there, that literally just shows you that you can create this kind of stuff really quickly and easily and have a massive impact. Brett, that looks amazing. Brett, thanks for jumping on, mate. And again, anybody that's listening on the call, there's a link below that says join us on the chat if you want to come on and ask questions and that kind of stuff. What was it about Zapable that got you in, man?
I delved into building apps and mobile sites about 2 years ago, but as someone mentioned before, I don't remember the name, Troy maybe?
Yep.
It was just too expensive at the time for just starting out, and the cost was too much. So the initial offer for the Zapable, I jumped on it as fast as possible because it was just a great price point, you know, and just the features available as well. It's just
the cost of Zapable, I mean, you know, is really, really low, but I know that's painful for somebody where you know, if they picked up the $39 a month, you know, that $39 a month, that's painful unless it gets you a return quickly. All right, and that's what the whole point of these webinars is about. That's what the whole point of these templates is about. It's got to get you a return quickly, and the only way that that's going to happen is if you take action, like Steve's done, like Troy's done, like Brett's done, and put up a page and literally go and speak to some people. Because let's say that you have the worst conversion rate in the world. Let's say that that's the reality. That for every 100 people you speak to who own a salon, one of them says, "Okay, I'll have an app." 1%. You've got a 1% conversion rate. Okay. Now let's have a look at what that means. If we said that Zapable is going to cost you $39 next month, come hell or high water. There's $99 for the Apple Store, and there's $25 for Google. So you know, between now and next month, there's $200 worth of expenses. Now those Apple and Google expenses are only one time, guys. By the way. Right? So now you're looking, you're saying, as a real business owner, you're saying, I've got a $200 expense. That better damn well pay for itself. Okay, so you say I've got the worst conversion rate in the world. Out of 100 people I speak to, I'll get one. Okay, so let's break this down. You've got 30 days in a month. You've got to speak to 100 people. That's 3 people a day. All right, roughly. You guys will correct my maths. I'm sure somebody will jump in with a comment in a second. But let's say roughly it's 3 people a day, right? Let's say you take weekends off. It's 4 people a day. You got to ask yourself: would you get 4 people a day to that website by sending emails, by doing advertising? I'll talk about that in a second. Would you contact 4 people a day to make $1,000, all right? Because that app is worth $1,000 to a salon all day, every day, okay? And if it's not worth $1,000, it's worth $800. If it's not $800, it's $500. I saw on your page there, Brett, was $200. Man, that is the biggest bargain of all time, all right? Sorry, man, go for it.
The only one I'm doing for that low price point would be the salons.
Yep.
I do a direct sales business, Young Living essential oils, and I'm going to offer the app to get them to establish a relationship and get them into the oil business as well.
How awesome is that? Additional services.
So I figured I would show, I charge $1,500 for an Android and an Apple bundle is what I'm going to call it.
Yep.
But you can get it for $200 as long as they do the other things involved. So
how awesome is that, man? How awesome is that? And guys, I want to jump back across. Thank you, Brett. That's awesome, man. I want to jump back across to this presentation because there's a couple of things here that I put there. So I put the sample page, templates how and why. Let me go back one. Right, this one: automated, manual, and semi-automated. I just want to talk about these methods just for a second. The automated method, the manual method, and the semi-automated method. Okay, and we've seen examples of these already, so I want to talk about what I mean by that. So first of all, the automated method. What do I mean by the automated method? The automated method works where you're going to throw a whole bunch of stuff at a page and hope something sticks. Okay, and so you put up a page with a with an example video, with the bullet points, and with a buy button. And then you throw traffic at it. And how do you do that? How do you throw traffic at it? I'm going to give you guys, I haven't written this on a thing, so I'll find a way of getting this up on the screen for you guys. I'm going to give you guys a Facebook audience insights app in just a few moments as well. But how do you throw a lot of traffic at it? Right. You advertise, basically. You do Facebook ads, and you can target your Facebook ads to specific people within a specific geography. Okay, it's important to know that you can go out. This is not a Facebook advertising training session. There's so many courses on that. If you want more information on it, we'll cover it in another webinar or whatever. But let's say you go into Facebook advertising. You want to target people who are business owners, entrepreneurs, so that's the job or profession, and you want to target them in salons, for example. You want to target them in a specific geographical area if you only want to work in your local area. If not, you can go global. And you're going to start to send people to that page. This is the automated method, whereby video marketing, Facebook marketing, pay-per-click marketing through Google AdWords, that kind of stuff, you send traffic to a page targeted to specific people. Now that works, okay? And it is the least involved because it means you set up your ad and you go to your job and you come back and you answer the replies. All right. There's a lot to be said for that method. There's also a risk involved because advertising costs money. Okay. But there's also other, and guys, get your pen and paper out. There are also other places that you can advertise that don't cost money, and that includes your local papers in the classified section. Okay. When I was running the offline business, I actually had a small ad running in the classified paper week in and week out. It was free. Classified ads were free. And that ad brought me one client a week regularly. All I was offering was helping them get their websites to the top of Google, that kind of stuff. And we were charging $500 a month for that service at the time. All right, just doing some automated stuff, which we don't do anymore, by the way. But put an ad in your classified paper. Go and speak to your Chamber of Commerce. Go and put a billboard notification up at your local supermarket. Go and ask the school that your kids go to if you can put a notice on the bulletin board or a note in their newsletter. In exchange, you'll give them an app. How about that? Right? So there's a lot of ways that you can advertise without spending a lot of money. Okay, so brainstorm those up. There's a couple there, and again, you can go back and play this recording to your heart's content, but classifieds, local papers, local stores, chambers of commerce, business directory listings and websites. Okay, so there's lots of websites that are literally just business listings. That's it. So lots and lots of ways, but that's the automated method where you put up a page and you throw traffic at it and you take the replies and responses and deal with them as they come through. The manual method, okay, now, the effectiveness of the automated method is something that you'll have to measure, but it is not as good as the manual method. So what is the manual method? The manual method goes like this. You've got a specific pizza joint around the corner from you, or sports club, or church, or charity, okay? Fill in the blanks. You've got a business close to you that you know. You go into your Zapable dashboard, you put in their logo and their social links from their website, and you take a video of that app, which I'll show you in just a second. You take a video of that into the local business and you say, "Hi, Joe. How you doing?" Joe's the owner of the pizza place. "Joe, I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have an app development company that we've just started up." Is that the truth? Absolutely. If you've got an app, if you've got a membership with Zapable, you have an app development business that you've just started up. And Joe, I'm looking for clients in and around the local area, looking to help some local businesses. I want to be able to build you an app, Joe, and this is like the mock-up that I've done for you. You've got your menu here, and you can send out specials and that kind of stuff. What do you think, Joe? This is called the manual method, all right, where you literally build an example and you go and see a client, okay? Now, you will close more sales doing that, guaranteed. 1 for 1, you'll close more sales, all right? But here's the kicker, is it takes time. Okay, if you've got time, great. Okay, but it takes time. You've got to be able to have that time available. Okay. And the last one there that I've put there is called what I call the semi-automated. Okay, and the semi-automated works in the way that Steve's example on his page said, "Send me a mock-up." All right, and it works like this: you throw traffic at a page. Now, whether it has a buy button on it or not, you have a link there that says, "Would you like more information?" And you get people to fill in their details, and those details get sent to you, okay? And then you get the details, make an appointment, go and see them with a specific intent on showing them the app, okay? That's semi-automated. I'm advertising, or I'm driving traffic for leads, and then I'm only dealing one-on-one with the people that show an interest, okay? That's the semi-automated. Guys, do you want to just drop a message in the chat box for me and let me know if those methods make sense to you? Is that, am I sort of hitting on the right things? Jack's Media, Donna, was Brett's example, JAXXMEDIA.com, I think. Guys, drop a message in the chat. Do those methods make sense to you? And guys, we've got Troy, we've got Steve, we've got Brett on the line. Do those methods make sense to you guys? Is that the automated method where we're driving traffic, the manual method where you're building an example and going and see somebody, and the semi-automated where it's like a combination where you drive traffic to get an interest and then you go and see the people that are interested? Does that make sense to you guys?
What I was actually going to do was, with your video, I was going to contact some schools via their email and actually send them a video of what we can do for them, and even put some newsletters up around, and also I was going to do some video traffic and maybe some advertising on Bing, because Bing's quite cheap at the moment. We can get clicks for about 1.5 cents, and because I'm Australian, it works at about $1 Australian per 1 cent per click. So you can pretty much get some really cheap clicks on Bing at the moment, and just set them to that splash. I call it a splash page. What do you want to call it? Where we get them to fill in their details and we make a mock-up from them. One of my things is I've got my site set up as Australian dollars, because I'm actually just going to target people in Australia.
Perfect.
Put my mobile phone on it so they can contact me directly.
Yep.
And that's going to be more
And
personal.
Brett just have a voicemail number. You know, there's a lot of people. When I first started, I had a job. I understand. You know, you're working 40 hours a week, you're working 60 hours a week, whatever it is, and you're trying to build this as something on the side. Troy, I know that that's your scenario as well, and you've done incredibly well as a result. But you know, have a voicemail, have a you know, call them back in your lunch hour. You know, that kind of stuff, and set that up. But Steve, you hit on a really key point there, where you can target specific people, and that's what I'm talking about. If you blast, and this is marketing lesson 101, right? If you shotgun your marketing, try and get everybody, and try and get, you know, the event is you'll spend a lot of money and you'll get no one, right? But if you've got a page specifically for schools, and you can target traffic that are schools, guess what happens to your conversion rate? Your cost goes down and your conversions go up. Same with salons. If you build a page for a specific niche or industry and then only target that niche or industry, you will drive more traffic for cheaper and get better results. Marketing 101. All right, so absolutely key points. So guys, those three methods: automated, semi-automated, and manual. And yes, it makes sense. People are telling me, but now the question comes, which one is better? Okay, which one should I do? And I'm going to answer all of them. Okay, which one should you do? And again, this comes back to what I was saying before. You got to get in the ring. You got to have a shot. You got to give it a go. So what are you going to do? You're going to put an ad up in your classified paper. You're going to maybe spend 10, 15 bucks a day on your Facebook advertising. You're going to drive some pay-per-click traffic. Step one, you're going to drop in and see your pizza guy. You're going to drop in and see your local school. Step two, and you're going to set up your semi-automated one. I love that one with Steve. You know, get an example, because, guys, what are you going to do? My answer is all of them, none of them, one of them, whatever works. But the most important thing that I can ask you to do is something, okay? Because I can guarantee you this. As I started off this presentation, I can guarantee you this. If you do nothing, you will make nothing. I can guarantee you that. All right? And we have all, if I showed you my purchase history on JVZoo or Warrior Forum, we have all got thousands of stuff, bits and pieces that we have bought and never used. Guilty, all right? Please do not let this be another one, because yes, exactly, everybody's hands up all over. Everybody, do you know, you know, for a while, I really felt bad about that, because I was like, I'm a product creator. Am I actually contributing to that, where I'm actually putting out product and people are buying it and not using it? And I have to come back to the light bulb that turned on and the change in my life. I bought a product from Mike Filsame, which was $1,800 when I couldn't afford $1,800, and I bought it from Mike Filsame, and I thought, for God's sake, man, you better do something with that, because like that's the final last straw, right? And it was a purchase that I made that propelled me into action, and I finally, you know, got going. 5 years later, we're financially free and everything's working. So I hope that somewhere along the line things kick in for you. But guys, this system, the Zapable system, the business that I'm putting together here with you guys, I want to talk to you. I want you to take this in your bloodstream, right? Don't let this sit on the shelf. Get in and do something. So which approach works best for you? Automated, semi-automated, manual, a combination of all of them, something different altogether that I haven't even talked about. Whatever works, get it done, and get it done now. And Troy, just do it. Because if you don't sit on it, you'll be me with eBay, looking at thousands going out the window. There's no reason why your app business that you already own, there's no reason why that can't be a six-figure earner for you within the next 90 days. There's no reason why it can't be at all. All right? So let me jump back to this presentation. We're an hour and 45 minutes. Sorry, mate. Tell me again.
Can I just chime in just for 1 second here?
Please do.
I just had a couple of things that I had written down, and I just want to go back to like the selling of it. You know, are you going to be able to go and sell it to somebody? I can't give a number, but I would have to say about 90% of the customers that you're gonna, or people that you're gonna go and approach with this, have already looked into it.
Yeah.
And they can't afford it, and so they haven't done anything with it. And as a business owner, you're always looking ways to increase your profit. So if you walk in there with the answer, they're gonna jump all over that. Another thing is if you go in there and they may be busy or they might have something else on their mind or something like that, and then they're like, I don't have time to listen to it at the moment. I don't have time to look at your app. What I do is I have business card and it has web address on it, and they can go and look. I posted it right in the my portfolio in the chat section there, but it also has a QR code on the back, so it's specific for like pizza places. I have a business card specifically for pizza places. It has the QR code on the back. I have the demo app. They can actually go and they can download it and they can play with it.
Perfect.
And if they have it in their hand, they're more apt to do it. And another.
Man, I love that strategy where you build a demo pizza app, you build a demo salon app, put it up on the Google Store, put it up on the Android Store. Like this is build an app that you can literally have in the store for downloading, and give people the QR code or the link, get it on their phone, even if it's the demo, and they'll be sold. I'll give you another tip in a second. Finish off, Troy, because that's really cool, man.
Yeah, so anyways, within the app, of course, you put in your push notifications. So if you have 20, 30 people out there that have installed your app to test out and they forget about it,
nice.
Once a week, once a month, you can push out a notification. Hey, don't forget about the app that you have installed there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And guys, I'm going to give you the secret sauce sales technique right now. Okay, I'm going to give this to you without having to build an app. All right, I'm going to give this to you, right? So, you know how in Zapable we've got the white label push notifications where you can actually log in and you can type out and see what it looks like on the screen, right? It's got that little blue bubble in the white label area that you can type in, you can type in what you're going to send, but it shows you the preview. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So when you log in, when you're doing a push notification, you log into, I think it's you've got your own dashboard and you'll have your own password. But you log in and you type it up, salon special, whatever it is, right? And it shows you the example. Here's the secret sales tool, right? Use a program called Jing, J-I-N-G. It's by TechSmith. It's free. Okay. It allows you to do screenshots. That was a very nice kiss. Hi, Steve's wife. It allows you to do screenshots, okay? So this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to let's say we're going to talk to Fred's Pizza Bar, right? So you log into your push notification and you type at the top, Fred's Pizza Bar, special offer Monday, 1 large for free. And just take a screenshot of it, okay? And then save that screenshot. You can use TechSmith again to do this, or save it to Dropbox or Google Drive. Save the image of Fred's Pizza Bar, 1 for free on Monday. All right, and then as you walk into Fred's Pizza Bar, right, pull up that image on your phone. Log into your Dropbox, log into Drive, pull up that image, and all it's going to show you is Fred's Pizza Bar, buy 1 get 1 free on Monday. You hand that across to Fred, and you say, "Do you want me to do this for you?" All right, because if you show them what a push notification looks like with their
graduation day.
Hey, Michelle, do you want to just mute for me for a second?
Gagging on China Van's graduation day.
Thank you, Michelle. Michelle just muted. It's lovely to see you, Michelle. Just mute as you come on. That'll be great. Come back, by the way, Michelle. Come back and mute, and we'll have a chat in just a second. So, guys, just take this to the bank, all right? Log into the white label push area, do a demo push notification, and capture it as an image. Take it on your phone and show the owner, right? And you can literally do this from outside. If you're going to see somebody and you've never been in that business before, it's XYZ Noodle Bar. Okay, you can literally do it on your phone. You can do a screenshot on your phone by, if it's iPhone, you push the home and the control button, and it takes a shot. All right, and you can put it on the phone in front of them and say, "Do you want me to do this for you?" Okay, and Troy, you mentioned sometimes they're too busy. Here's another tool, right? Here's another sales closing tool. Get the business card from that business that you just went to see, or get the email address, okay? And simply, this is it. This is all you need to do. Simply send them an email with that image in the attachment. That's it. Hi, Joe. I popped in to see you today. You were a bit earlier. I've attached an image of what I think the biggest benefit is here for you. Let me know if you want any more information. And Joe's going to open that image. It's going to say Joe's Pizza Bar 2 for 1 on Mondays. And he's going to go, whoa. Okay, and if you put in your email, imagine if we can get you 500 customers installed with your Pizza Bar app. Okay, just show them an image of your push notification. Okay, in the sales videos that I did for you guys, you'll notice that I've got a push notification as an example specific to that industry. In the sports club, I've got one that talks about the sports results. In the education one, I've got one that talks about the something to do with the school, right? A staff meeting. In the restaurant one, I've got one that talks about a special offer. In the massage one, I've actually got an image and a push notification. You know, get a massage voucher. Okay. You can create your own image of a push notification by logging into the white label area. Use Jing, copy it, save it, and show it to the business. Okay? And if you do one for each industry that you're approaching, you can save those images in Google Drive. You can pull up Google Drive or Dropbox on your device. You can show them that image. Okay? Everything else to do with the app is great. Use the demo versions, but show them that image of their own push notification going out, and you've got a really high chance of a sale. All right. I was going to say you've got a guaranteed sale, but I can't guarantee that. But that's a fantastic tool to take with you. Okay, and it's free. You've already got Zapable, and Jing is free. Go and take the screenshot and show it to them. And even if you can't sell, all right. Even if, do you know, I'm getting passionate now. I saw a real estate agent do the very, very, very best sales presentation I have ever seen. Okay, and he never said a word. It was amazing, because you know when a real estate agent's biggest sale is what they call getting the listing. It's nothing to do with selling the house. The biggest sale they have is list your house with us. We'll get you the buyer, but the listing is the sale itself. They have to sit with a homeowner and they have to say why you should list with us, why you should pay us the $20,000 commission. You know, that's the sale. Selling the house is easy, but getting the sale for the real estate agent is the listing. And this guy did the best presentation I'd ever seen, because all he did was he walked in with a folder, he shook hands, said hi, you know, sat at the table, and he opened this folder. And in this folder, he just kept flicking. And it was a beautiful, you know, the website image of the house with a big red sticker across the front that said sold. And the next one on the other page was another house with a big red sticker that said sold. And he'd turn the page. And there was another beautiful house and it said sold. And another beautiful house and it said sold. And he just kept flicking the pages and looking back at the people. Sold, turn the page, sold, sold, turn the page. By about the 10th page, man, those people would have signed whatever the commission was, right? That was it, that was done. It was the best sales presentation I've ever seen. Why? Because the real estate agent simply put in front of the people exactly what they wanted to see. Can this person sell my house? Sold, 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 right? Do this with your app business. All you've got to do is put the image in front of them that shows them 2-for-1 pizzas on Monday sent to 506 people, right? Get your special massage voucher, bring a friend and they have 50% off. Sold, sold, sold. Put together a catalog of push notifications and put them in front of your business owners. That's your very, very, very best sales tool that you can possibly give. All right, guys. We are 1 hour 25 in. I've talked a lot about philosophy and a lot about strategy. I hope it's been valuable for you. Again, guys, I want to make sure you know this. I put in, as part of this bonus, I put in 2 webinars. Okay. I'm having a lot of fun, and if you want more, I'm happy to do them. I'm happy to do them, you know, on a regular basis. If you want to, we can set something up, and we've got a specific email list of the people that bought Zapable from my link. So I'm just having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are getting value, but I want to let you know that it's not this one webinar. It's not the end. You know, I want to make sure that you know that. Okay, so the templates. I talked about this in the overview video on the bonus page itself. Templates, how and why. The purpose is to build a business system that you can grow sustainably. All right. So if you try and be everything to everyone, let me tell you what will happen. You'll get nothing done, and you'll earn nothing, and you'll burn out and die. That is the truth. The templates exist so you can scale. If you concentrate, now these 5 niches that I've chosen don't have to be the same 5 niches that you choose. Okay. But what I want to show you is if you work with templates, making the actual physical finished product of the app is simple. You make a template to demo, and then all you do is clone it, and you change the details needed. You change the website, you change the phone number, you change the links, and you move on. Templates are what you need to be able to scale this business to a point where it's not going to drive you into the ground, to a point where you can outsource it. Okay? If you show a $10 an hour worker how to change the necessary things within a template, you can get somebody else to do it. You can get your kids to do it. All right? But templates are the key. If you are going into a specific niche, and what I'm trying to say is, don't go too wide. Okay? If you want to be successful with this, don't go too wide. Stay in a specific set of niches. I've chosen 5. You don't have to choose those 5, but choose a few that you can then build templates with and scale. And when you're knocking out customers, you can just clone it, change the details, and go again. Clone it, change the details, and go again. Does that make sense? Drop me a chat in the message box and just let me yes or no whether that makes sense for you. All right. The taxi app. No. Wait. Now, let me tell you how this came to be. All right. I had somebody who was looking at Zapable said to me, I really want to build an app that that people can have on their phones, and they can be like a taxi, and so you can call the taxi and they can come and get you, and you have and I said, like Uber, and he go, yeah exactly like Uber, yeah exactly like Uber, and I said to him, okay, Uber is worth $42 billion. Now, a big chunk of that money has gone into developing that technology. No, you cannot build Uber on Zapable. Okay? And I'm using this as a demonstration. There are times when the company you're going to speak says, I saw this app from Salesforce and I want to build something exactly like that. You say, cool, no worries. Salesforce app costs $2.5 million to build. What's your budget? Right? There's going to be times when businesses ask you for technology that is just simply not in Zapable. Okay? And there will be times where you just have to say, no. Okay, no, I can't build you Uber. All right? But I don't want you guys to lose the sale. Okay? Because what if it's not outside the realms of possibility, like building Uber? What if it's just slightly too difficult? So what should you do there? And I'm going to tell you, put together a quote. Okay? Put together a quote. And how do you put together a quote? You find out from the client what they want. So I just a few moments ago I talked about templates. Okay? I'm such a strong believer in this model that if you only built apps on templates and said no to everything else, you would have an easy business. Okay? You would have an easy business and you would have more money than you think you can earn, okay, if you just stuck to templates, right? But there's also a call sometimes for building things or getting things built where you don't have the skills and resources. I'll tell you a very true story, okay? A very true story. I got approached by a local real estate agent company that wanted me to build a specific software platform for them. And my immediate reaction was, I don't have time. I've got my own software business. I have my own development crew. I have my own team. I'm putting out projects. Simply, I just don't have time. And my gut reaction immediately was no. But then I thought, what they're asking me is simple and logical. I just don't have time to do it. So I went and I went onto Elance actually, and I spec'd it all out. And the cost to build of what they wanted was somewhere around $4 or $5 grand. Okay, I went back to the real estate agent company and I said, listen, I've spec'd it all out. For me to build it, it's going to be about 20 grand. They said, okay. Well, what? I made it so expensive that they were sure to say no, but also so expensive that if they said yes, I'm not going to turn that down. Hell no. So what did I do? I said, great, cool, pay me 50% up front. Thank you. Take the check, $10,000 before I walked out of the office. Put that in my bank account. Went back to the Elance provider and said, I'll pay you 50% up front. So I paid them $2,000. Okay? And they did everything else. Every time the client sent me an email, oh, I want to do this, I would send it to the provider. Can you do this? Dink, done. I was just the middle guy, right? Like this, up and down, up and down, up and down. And over the period of about 6 months, this thing got developed, and my total involvement was 20 emails back and forth, forwarding it on. I literally took off the bottom and forwarded it on to my developer. He sent it back, and I forwarded it to them. Right? Can you do this? Sure. Can you do that? Sure. and I picked up 15 grand in the process. Now, is that something you want to do? Well, that's up to you, okay? But what I'm saying that Ritz, you just asked me about getting RunClick for free. No worries, man. Just drop in a support ticket, and Kay will sort you out with a license there, guys. Anybody that bought Zapable as an extra bonus, I'm giving you RunClick, which is what you're watching now. So you can do webinars and online presentations and evergreen presentations. I'll talk about those next webinar. So if you want to be that middle guy, do it. Don't say no. Go say, I'll get a quote. All right. But I'm also saying to you, be narrow. Okay. And if you want to say no to all that business, build a relationship with a local app building company and send them referrals, and they'll send you a spotter's fee or something like that. All right. So there's always a way to get stuff done. Right. The different types of apps. How much have I got left in my presentation? I think that's it. Okay, so the different types of apps. I'm an hour and a half in. I'm 90 minutes in. I hope this has been valuable for you guys. We've talked very little technical. We've talked a lot of philosophy and approach. The different types of apps. Okay, I'm focusing primarily on local business apps. Pizza places, restaurants, salons, sporting clubs, charities, education apps. Okay, that's where I'm focusing primarily. Why? Because they are easy to get a check from. Okay. But there are different types of apps that you can build within Zapable. A lot of the sales page about Zapable talked about Amazon. It talked about affiliate marketing apps. It talked about list building. Okay, and they are 100% available and can be done within Zapable. And I invite you to do it. Go and have a play. Okay, what I say, this is my personal 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to say personally, it's not where I want to focus, because if I build an app selling some Amazon stuff or T-shirts into a specific space, I'm immediately in a really competitive environment. I've got to be the best at what I do. I've got to get that app ranked. I've got to get, I've got to get that app to the right people. There's a lot of things that I've got to do to make that a success. Whereas if I focus on one specific business by building them a demo app, I can walk in their front door and get a sale tomorrow. But there are lots of different apps that you can build with Zapable. Okay. Chris also was promoting Zapable. Chris and I are great friends. Chris has a bonus. I think Chris's bonus was coaching specifically on building apps with CPA marketing and using Facebook traffic to get downloads of those apps and that kind of stuff. There's so much valuable information from Chris's bonus that I hit him up. I said, listen, mate, I really love what you're putting out there for people. It's on a completely different spin from what I'm putting out there for people. Can I get my people who bought through me to get my bonuses also access to your bonuses so they get a double win? Now, obviously, Chris has reserved his bonuses for the people that bought through his link. That was kind of his promotion. But he has made his bonus available for $25 to us as well, which I think is a huge investment. So you can go through Chris's training as well. You get a toolbar where he actually gives you a lot of extra training and information. I will send that link out on a separate email to you guys. If you want to get Chris's training as well, he's going to only charge $25 to deliver that. So that's really cool. But there's lots of things. Now, just give an example from Chris's training. And again, I went through Chris's training because I love the guy and he gave me access to it. Chris gave an example of an affiliate app, right? And so he was talking specifically about fans of the TV show The Walking Dead. Any fans? Drop in, let me know. Or it might be Game of Thrones or whatever your passion is, right? And so Chris talked about setting up an app, amazing graphic on the top that was Game of Thrones or Walking Dead app fan club or something like that. And latest news, and it was an RSS feed, latest news from the site, image gallery, and affiliate products. So it might have been T-shirts specifically. He was marketing his T-shirts, and he was using the push notifications to drop in a Walking Dead T-shirt that we've just released, limited quantity. And if you've got 10,000 downloads of your app, chances are those are fans and rabid fans, and you're going to get sales immediately. And that can be Amazon products, it can be your own stuff, it can be any affiliate link that you want to send to a specific niche. I love that model. If you're building an affiliate marketplace, and so I'm using Walking Dead as an example, but you could use anything. I've got a Facebook fan page on professional development, sales training and that kind of stuff, because that's something that I really like and enjoy. So imagine if you could build the fan page, get the app downloads, push out affiliate products using the push notifications, and get instant sales to handheld traffic. Beautiful, amazing model, and that's one of the things that you can also do with Zapable. Okay, so Chris talks about building a fan page by targeting people who like a certain thing. So they like Walking Dead, or they like Tony Robbins, or they like a specific thing, and you can build a fan page all about that. Get app downloads and then use the push notifications as an affiliate marketing tool just to send that out. That's a really, really cool model, and again, that's something that you can do with Zapable. There's lots of people that are doing that in the forums, and I'll make sure I get Chris's training available out to you guys as well. All right, guys, we're about an hour and a half in. I've talked enough. All you three on the call, unmute and let's finish it off. Anybody else in the question box, guys? I want you to know that this is not the end. The next webinar I want to be talking about specifically templates, technical stuff. So how to actually configure a template, how to do the presentation. I talked about using video. I should have gone into more detail here. Using video to present. We'll do that quickly. I'll show you what I mean, because that's an important question to cover off. So let me go to this one, and I'll share my screen. All right, so I'm looking at Brett's amazing looking page there. All right, so can you guys, I'm in Zapable at the moment, and I want to show you what I mean by using a video. So let's say we've got our sporting club. All you need to do is click on edit. Okay, so let's say that you go and you do a presentation to XYZ Sporting Club. You want to do some customization here to make it look like it's their thing. So you go into look and feel, you change your club name to their club name. So, you know, we go in here, sorry, app info. We go in here and say, you know, XYZ Sporting Club. All right, like that. Okay, so what I'm talking about is you literally make it look like it's theirs already. You build a mock-up, okay? So you go in and change what you need to change. You drop in the link to their website, all right, their phone number, even some photos so you go to their website, get their Facebook link, get some photos from their website, that kind of stuff. And then what you do is, I hope you guys can see this, I use the 6 Plus because it gives me a bigger screen, and I did this with all the sales videos. You can see that there, okay? So you would have put their club shot in the background. And then over here on the left-hand side, I use a program called Jing. You can use Camtasia or Jing or lots of screen capture stuff, right? And so I literally highlight just that area of the screen. So I'm not showing Zapable. This is a really key point, okay? Because you don't want to tell them that you're using Zapable. They can go and build their own. All right, you want to charge them $1,000, okay? So you're literally highlighting just that point. Now I then use this little video area, okay, and I'm not going to do that because we're on a Hangout, but I video it and I walk it through. So your club, I click on the call button, I click on the website, I click on their photos, I click on the Facebook, and I do a 30-second to 2-minute video showing their app as a mock-up, okay? And then when you've done that video, you can save it. You can put it on Dropbox, Google Drive, whatever. You can take it to them on a mobile device. You can upload it to YouTube and make it a private video, okay? And then you can take that video with you. This is how to demo an app. Use a video tool. I use Camtasia or Jing. Okay, Jing makes big files and is hard to edit, but it's really good for quick and easy. I use Camtasia, and I can do the same thing. I can define the exact window of recording, and I can just record it. I take the video in to do the demo. Okay, so that's how to demo an app which is specific, built for them as a mock-up without showing them that you're using Zapable. Okay, all right, so I promised I'd go through that. I hope that makes sense. So guys, as we're wrapping up, if there's any other questions, there's things you'd like me to cover off, go back. There was an email I sent out yesterday. Please send me through anything that you want me to cover in the second webinar. If there's bits and pieces of feedback you want to go through more details, it's been a pleasure going through. And Steve, Troy, Brett, and I think it was Marjorie that popped on and popped off very quickly. Guys, thank you so much for being involved. It's been it's awesome to have you on with us.
Thanks for your time.
Hey, no worries, man. Is there any questions that you guys wanted to cover? Like, you guys are on, so you get the spotlight.
My turn. Something.
Steve first. Steve first.
A lot of businesses don't have websites these days, and so this is a good thing for them to build them an app, and they've actually got a web presence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where they spend thousands to build a website. Now they can just have an app, and it gives them a website. To be honest.
Absolutely, and there's services out there that can print off a QR code that they can stick in their front window, and as a customer,
if anybody wants a plugin for QR code, they can contact me, and I'll give them a plugin for WordPress where you can generate your own QR codes, print them off, and put them on whatever you want.
Beautiful. Put them on a sticker, put them on the business cards of the thing, and then somebody walks into the. You put them on a website. Put them, if they don't have a website, they can just put it on their front counter and people can scan that code while they're standing there waiting to be served. Thanks, man. That's very cool. Brett, anything that you wanted to cover, mate?
Just had a question. If obviously I'm focusing on the salon niche. If I did 100 apps that are very similar, would that be a problem to Google in the long run? No,
not at all, man. Because you're building apps for, that each app is different. Each app is going to have its own downloads. I mean, if you want to see that that's a true statement, go and have a look in the App Store and just Google something like Notepad, for example, and see how many billions of Notepad apps there are. They don't care. They want as many on there as they possibly can. Each one is going to be different. Each one will have its own unique number identifier. Each time you create an app, it has its own app ID. And the stores, Apple and Google, they want as many apps as they can. That's what drives their business. And so long as you stay within terms of service, you know what I mean? Like, so long as your kids' football app has got, doesn't violate terms of service, and I'm talking about all the bad stuff that's out there. So long as you stay clean, you're not ever going to have any trouble. You could create 1 million of the same app and just change the name, and they're going to let it all through because that's what drives their business. No dramas at all.
Okay, thank you.
Troy, anything you want to cover off, bud? Troy is my hero. Troy takes action and massively moves his family forward.
And my family, it's my wife's birthday today, actually.
Happy birthday, Sarah!
She's 2 floors up from here.
I'll yell loud.
She might be able to hear you. It's 9:43 p.m. here last night from your house.
Cool.
But she's like, no, you go downstairs because she knows Walter. She's like, you go downstairs and you be with Walter, and you learn from that guy. I'll be upstairs watching TV. So here I am.
Well, it's a real pleasure, man. It's a real pleasure. And, as I said, Troy has taken huge steps forward and didn't sit on his idea. He made something happen for himself and has changed his life and his family's life. So you guys all have that same opportunity. Anybody that's on this call who picked up Zapable, anybody that has breath in their lungs has that same opportunity to step forward and do anything they want to do, man. I'm so pleased for you. It's such a pleasure to hang out with you guys. I'm so glad you jumped on the call. It makes it more fun when I actually get to talk to people rather than talk at people.
So I just wanted to bring up really quick. I've had a billion ideas. That's just what I do. My head just goes, just has a billion ideas. And occasionally my wife will mention, well, that idea's already taken. Somebody's already doing that.
Yep.
That doesn't matter. I don't know what everybody has all over the world, but let's take Burger King. If McDonald's was around first, and then Burger King's like, hey, I want to do fast food, and then somebody's like, no, because McDonald's is already doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you do right now? So, I mean, it doesn't matter if somebody's doing it, just do it better.
Apple was not the first MP3 player on the market. Facebook was not the first social media player on the market. Google was not the first search engine. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be first. You don't even have to be best in market. You don't have to have the best pizza app. You have to have a pizza app that does what the pizza bar owner down the corner wants. Okay? It doesn't have to be Domino's. It doesn't have to be Pizza Hut. It has to do what he needs. It has to have a link to his website and be able to push out his notifications. All right? You don't have to have the best graphics. You don't have to have the best sales page. You just have to do what you do and do it constantly. That's it. Very cool. All right, guys, it is honestly a pleasure to hang out with you. I hope this has been valuable. I've talked about a lot of philosophy here. If there's anything that you can take with you and take it to bed, I know it's late in the States, take it to work if you're in Australia, take it with you. It's that you are good enough. You are good enough. And the businesses, the community, the schools, the small operators, they need you. They need you. And you got to be able to take it to them and take enough confidence from myself, take my confidence and walk into the pizza bar, right? Take Brett's confidence and walk into the salon. Take the confidence that this works with you and go and speak to some people. And that's the only way it's going to happen. All right, guys, I'm going to finish up. Thank you so much for being on the call with me. I'm going to do a second call same time next week. Please send through anything that you want me to cover. Watch this replay. If there's specifics and techniques that you want me to go through, let me know, and I'll make sure to build it in. And the same thing next week. I'll put a link beneath the video where you can jump in and join, and we can have a chat live if you want to, because that's been a lot of fun. But again, thank you so much for your trust in picking up Zapable through my link. I hope and believe with all my heart that this is something that you can take with you forward to be of value for you for a long, long, long time to come. So again, thank you for your trust. Thank you for being with me, and I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Walt.